And welcome back to another weekly edition of Monster Hunter Barovia. Last session, our players ended up making it to the encampment and ended up getting their fortunes read, which provided them with three items that will help them on their journey, an ally that will help them in the ongoing fight, along with the location, or a hint to the location of their, I wouldn't say nemesis, but their adversary. They were also able to get a long night's rest in, cure themselves of their curse, and aside from that, we silvered up some weapons to help them with other supernatural forces. Aside from that, it sounds like the party is finishing up preparations and getting ready to make their way back to the town of Barovia.
Just watch. There will be no more werewolves now.
Better to be fucking ready.
But yeah, it's
Over the course of our long rest, I used my shiny new, shiny slightly used alchemy kit that I purchased, and I've been experimenting more with that concoction that I made yesterday, and it's probably gonna taste better, but still do the same thing.
So you're talking about the anti-werewolf thing that I gave you last time, or
No, I probably looked into that, but you gave us the like bits that were in that. But I'm talking about my mutagen that I made.
oh, gotcha. Yeah. Only works with 5G. Just kidding. All right. Anything else that you guys need to take care of while you're in camp?
Um, Stupid question, just for reference's sake. How closely are you tracking? Like, do you want people tracking ammo? Because that will determine if I want to go buy like a woodworker's kit so I can repair arrows or something.
I'm not going to track ammo for this campaign. I think there's enough, since it seems like pretty much everyone that I've looked to in this campaign will carry the bare minimum stuff like ammunition. As long as it's that type, it's fine. But it's like if it's any specialized ammo that requires some sort of, you know, how want to put it, like if it's silver tipped arrows or something like that, you may want to keep track of that at least because that was potentially
Okay,
part
so
of
if
it.
I'm making him like silver tipped arrows, I'll need equipment, but otherwise, it's just I don't need to worry about it right now. Is what I'm hearing.
Right. If you're just buying standard
Good.
like crossbow bolts and stuff like that, I mean, if you decide to fire, all your crossbow bolts into, the lake and never retrieve them, I might do something to that effect to say no, that's probably not going to work. But if you're in a firefight and it's only one encounter, it's been one encounter between towns, and you obviously refill that between towns, that's I'm not gonna worry too much about that.
Okay, I just wasn't sure like how carefully we need to manage our resources. Like if I need to be like ready to repair people's arrows, kind of level of careful.
I think we're pretty safe with that because it seems like most of the encounters that we ran in this one in the previous session, I don't think you guys have gone too crazy about blowing through like more than your. I would assume you carry like your standard quill or case that carries what 30 or 60 depending on what you use.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure.
No, it's probably
Oh,
yeah, it's a good point of
All right. All right. So also, I have a question. So Vico was working on silvering those two weapons. Is she still working on it today, or did she get it all done? Like,
she got done one day. So you guys rested for the night. She started the next day, got done. You guys got a second night's rest in, and then day three ish that morning.
okay. During the second day, then, can I have gone foraging a bit?
Yeah, sure. What were you looking for?
I was looking for Artemisia, Helios, and Wolfsbane.
Yeah, go ahead and make me a survival check.
First roll of the night. It's a 16.
Okay. All right, and we will go ahead and roll some dice on this end. So for Wolfsbane, you find three, what would essentially be just three of the plant itself. Oh, come on. 2 of Artemisia, and 2 of Helios. So for what you need to make the said thing, you have 3, 2, and 2 for components.
You said I have 3, 2, 2?
Yeah.
So 3 Artemisia, 2 Wolfsbane, 2 Helios?
Yeah. Well, I thought you said Wolfbanes first, but...
Okay, that's whatever. It doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
So 3 Wolfsbane, 2 Artemisia, 2 Helios flower. Got it.
Yep. Anything else people need to do on the second day while waiting for Vika to silver your guys' weapons?
I'm okay.
Okay. Alright, well, if there's nothing else, you guys do get a full night's rest without being attacked. And then we move over to dawn of the next of 2 days of being here. So essentially it's dawn. You guys wake up, sun. Well, you see at least that the land is being illuminated, even though that it's behind some dense cloud cover.
All right, our plan was to head back to Barovia, yes?
I think that was it.
I wanted to talk to that fine young gentleman in the pub and see what the deal was with his sister, right?
And I think there was something else.
Are we gonna burn down the fucking what's his face's shop?
I think that we should wait on that until we are prepared and have a way through the mist, because I do not want to be hunted down by the local population when we destroy their source of food.
Well, to be perfectly fair, they might actually just, the place might just rebuild itself magically based on everything else.
Everything else is fucking nutty.
That is a horrifying thought.
I nod in agreement.
All right, well, we'll put a pin in that. I would like to thank Madam Eva for her hospitality, as well as all of the other people in the camp. I'm sure that we've had at least some level of pleasantries exchanged, and would like to be polite and courteous.
Yeah, they all cheer you on, and after they offer to at least send you off with some fresh stew in the morning. Make sure that you guys have at least have a hearty breakfast, and wish you well on your way. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, we'll go ahead and switch over to the Force Path map once more.
Oh, there was the priest that we wanted to talk to back in Barovia. That's what it was.
Right.
Coming through my notes, because I knew that there was something else we wanted to do in Barovia. Had to comb through my notes for it.
Also, I'm sorry, backpedaling a little bit. Could I have procured some wine?
Yeah, they probably just have your run-of-the-mill wine that you can probably pick up at any tavern.
All right, so I can get a bottle of 2 of wine in case I need to make stuff. Be good. Cool.
Right. All right. So daytime. Let's do some random encounter and see what we get today. Lucky number 14. Ow.
Are we all gonna die?
No.
It's just 6 werewolves. It's fine.
I was gonna say, it sounds like we're all about to die.
What? I don't fucking care. I have a fucking silver weapon now. Bring on the fucking werewolves.
And I can cure werewolfism, apparently.
It's not death, just extreme maiming.
All right. So I need.
I'm cured of werewolfism and I have a silver weapon. Let's do this.
Didn't I grab one of their skulls?
Yes.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, the leader.
Also, if we don't find another werewolf in this campaign after I spent 200 gold to silver our weapons, I'm going to be very upset.
There's bound to be some point where we're glad we have silver weapons, even if it's not a werewolf.
All right.
Some sort of were creature.
Yeah.
Out of point of order here, does anyone have a perception, a passive perception of 20?
20?
Lunan did.
Yeah, Luna did. No, I do not.
I don't.
Jesus,
That's
no.
going to be a negative Ghost Rider.
I mean, it makes it feel any better. It just burned my nat 20, so. Okay.
Not really.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Yeah. As you guys proceed on the path, you end up passing those. You end up passing that ghostly gallows once more. However, nothing strange or unusual happens this time around. There's not even no imagery or tricks of the mind end up happening as you walk past it.
Vika definitely gives it a few wary looks.
Well, that's the one with the ghostly promenade.
Right, and for Vika, she actually saw herself, unfortunately.
Oh, that one, yeah.
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 Vika sort of like gets a little skittish around it.
All right, let me double check my notes here on this particular point of order as well, because okay, yeah, all right, we're good. So yeah, you guys end up walking through the path. I'm not sure if there's any banter that you wish to talk about among your group as you walk through there. If not, we'll just proceed to Barovia. Okay.
No, I think I'm just kind of like jaw clenched in steely defiance.
I'm just very cautious and apprehensive of what we may see.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
Vika's more than a little lost in her own head at this point.
Oh yeah, Tilda's just super overwhelmed.
All right. So after a good half day's march from the pool, you guys end up making back to the town of Barovia, and it's great, cheery disposition. And when I mean cheery, I mean completely opposite of that. It is still a very dull-looking town with thick, heavy mist, with the colors being bland. At least people aren't shutting their windows as you guys approach the town this time around. So yeah, you guys make it back with no problems.
All right, so I guess first step would be to see if we can find the gentleman in the inn.
So the gentleman and his sister, and then the priest.
I suppose.
All right.
That way we can tell him to prepare so that we can escort him.
I will bow and just have you motion for you to lead the way.
What do we need to talk to the priest about again? It had something to do with one of our agendas, yes?
I thought this was you, or Silas, or something?
Well, it was me at the time, but I feel like we got... Well, I think Madame Eva might have quelled whatever answers or questions that we might have had. But we could always check in with the priest as well, just so I could have a, little reassurance. But yes, back to the blood. Wait. What is the place called again? I believe I'm missaying it. Is it called the Blood on the Vine? Or Blood of the Vine?
It was Blood of the Vine. And he had no wine selection at all, which is...
Well, they had one wine, to be
It
fair.
does not make much sense. You would think they would specialize in wine then.
Maybe they specialize in blood wine.
Or just blood.
But
Okay.
then why on the wine? Why not just the Blood Tavern?
That's not a nice thing to make appear on your map, sir.
Oh, I know. It's a counter that happens every once in a while.
So,
So
Vika, it's the idea that the blood of the vine is a beautiful wine,
Are we walking and talking?
right? Isn't that the whole point? Isn't that the Yeah, we're definitely walking and
But
talking.
they had no wine.
Well, they did have wine. They had some wine.
They had one wine. That was terrible. That is not wine.
Not like most taverns are like known for having more than one thing.
My families had many. It was very well stocked. And
It was
a
very
large
dry.
assortment.
Which is ironic for it trying to be blood wine and it's just I don't know.
Weird.
All right, so as you guys start moving through town, something odd ends up occurring. Go ahead and make me a perception check for those of you who are not caught up in the conversation about the tavern.
So are we still under?
Yeah, you get.
Do we feel okay? I guess let me ask a question. Do we feel like we're safe walking into the city, or not? Like, because I was apprehensive of the trip, but I don't know about so much being in town.
I mean, this is a town where we ran into two ghost children that made us go into a murder house. And
Fair,
then once
okay,
we
yeah.
walked around a corner, we got whisked away into another building.
And there was also the procession of ghosts in the night.
Yeah,
That's
there's,
fair.
I
So
would
the
ass-
small ghost childs were very sweet.
so I would hope all of us would feel that there's nothing normal about this place at this point.
No, there is nothing normal about any of this. This
I
whole
rolled.
place.
I rolled terribly, but I rolled.
Okay.
Our highest winner is what, a 13?
Yeah, Matilda, you.
We're starting out strong.
Yeah, Matilda is pretty much the only one who picks up on it as she starts hearing a creaking sound coming from the northeast of your location. It's very hard to hear because of the weird acoustics that the town provides.
Also, you have to hear about people complaining about wine.
Does anybody hear that noise?
No, well, I don't hear anything.
Noise?
It's a weird squeaky noise.
After she announces it, do we hear it?
Yeah, you guys actually pick it up before
All right.
before you
Well,
turn.
I'm
the
gonna
corner.
down my mutagen and get all like creepy and stretchy again. And yeah, we'll go and check it out.
I recognize that sound. It was very creepy the first time. It's all creaking and snapping of dry bone.
It doesn't feel any better than it sounds.
I'm sorry, that's bones speaking?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
just my bones stretching. It's fine.
Oh,
Creaking and
That's
snapping.
Brett.
Joints are popping.
Were you not there when I did this the first time?
apparently not.
I think
Okay,
that.
so,
when you
like,
guys
I
did the
drink
self
a-
story.
I drink a like creamy liquid that I like created last night, and it like
Care to rephrase that?
no.
He drinks a tincture.
It's Reese. No, maybe not, actually.
A tincture, and it makes my arms, my legs like elongate a little bit. I'm kind of like a little bit more hunched over. My eyes are more prominent and like the middle of my face, and they dart around a lot. And like my hands also like get larger and like quicker looking.
What he's saying is that he starts turning into the Slender Man.
A little bit. It's fine.
Cool.
So we will look over in the direction of whatever whatever Matilda was indicating.
Also, real quick, if we were like traveling on the way here after just waking up, I would have cast Mage Armor at the top. Over the course since it lasts an eternity.
It only lasts for 8 hours. It's fine.
Yeah.
That's a
That is a
eternity.
you wake up in the morning and you cast it.
Breakfast spell.
Yes. Spells over breakfast.
Alrighty, so as soon as Matilda puts up something, you guys peer around the corner. You come upon a very disturbing scene in which you hear the sound of a small wooden wheels across damp cobbles. You trace the lonely sound to a hunched figure's bundle in rags pushing a rickety cart through the fog. you overhear a argument about the fact that someone talk about payment, and you see a young child being in the grip of that figure in rags. You hear something about the parents pleading about not taking the boy, and one swift movement, she grabs the boy and loads the poor lad into her cart.
Milcetus?
Right. That's not normal.
Does the person in
You're
rags?
not seeing things.
Does the person in rags look like supernaturally?
You can tell that at least the clothing is. Aside from that, you really can't tell too much from the distance that you're at. All you can tell it's like a very old looking woman. But the fact that she kind of just pretty much grabbed the boy as if he was just a rag doll and threw him in there kind of states that something doesn't quite fit the bill here.
All right, I'm not a huge fan with people's children getting taken from them.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go track her, or do you want to try to go after her right now?
No, try and fucking. I'm not even answering. I'm just getting in the way.
Vika has her glaive in her hand and is just standing and looming over behind Quinn.
Hey, what's going on here? What's going on with the child?
Are we still kind of like away around the side of this house where it can't be seen yet?
I think he popped up and yelled at unless.
Yeah, I think
No,
everybody
like
else.
I'm saying, like we're walking around the corner and we've discovered this, but where I'd like say I haven't walked around the corner yet. Am I still obscured enough to not have noticed things? I know that there's a sound over there, and I know they're going towards something, but we haven't interacted yet, right? Or are you going to make an interaction?
At this point, I think you guys probably would have all taken a quick peek around and seen you would have witnessed this scene unfold, because it would have taken at least 30 seconds to a full minute for her to yank the boy and throw it in there. So you would have had at least a full minute of observation at least.
I was more meaning of whatever this is observing me.
Oh no, it doesn't pay attention to you guys up until Quinn starts talking. Then her focus is on Quinn.
Okay, well, I'm for the all intents and purposes currently I'm going to kind of like stay up against the side of this house, knowing like after peeking around the corner, and I'm going to just kind of watch what unfolds. Before we start, if I feel like we're going to fight, I have one spell I want to cast first.
Okay.
Also, Dr. Atrix may need to be added to the board unless he is not there for some reason. I don't know.
Oh yes, he's not here.
He only ever appears after the fight ends. That's his shtick.
He's a terrible doctor. Well, I guess not quite.
Yeah, he's a great doctor. He's not a particularly reliable companion.
That's more necromancer-y.
Well, it's because he's actually a figment of all of our imaginations. It's a shared hallucination brought on by the stress of werewolfism.
Yeah, and we don't even know it, but Salith doesn't see him.
Yes. Sayla thinks that we're all just mad because we're just talking to him.
I've seen worse. I'm not judging anybody here.
Oh my god. I want that to be a character somewhere so bad now. Luke, make it happen.
Jesus.
What?
Okay.
He's only mad because it's a good idea.
So she wants me to make an NPC that is a figment of everyone's collective imagination.
Except for like one person, and one person can't see or hear them. And it's just like everyone is bonkers.
Okay, anyway, sorry guys, we derailed. Let's get back on.
Sorry.
All right, yeah, so I'm like trying to get in the way of this child getting kidnapped from their parents. I feel strongly that that's not a good thing.
Yeah, she just kind of looks at she looks at all of you, and she's kind of taken aback, and she's starting to backpedal slowly, like not enough to get like a running dash, but she's trying to maintain some distance between you and her, like she does not wish to engage.
Is she taking the cart with her as she does this?
Yep.
If she does so, oh, go ahead.
What kind of, can you describe the cart? Is it like a wheelbarrow sort of thing, or is it like a horse-drawn carriage, or
No, it's probably. I would say it's closer to like just those old school push carts that you would see people like just two wheels and just enough just to put like a small sacks or something in there. Like it's just enough just to carry something small. It's not.
and she threw a child onto it.
Yeah, it's barely enough just to keep the child in there.
Okay. I'm going to bonus action activate my Crimson Right.
So we're talking something like that.
Yeah, let me take a look. Yeah,
and I'm going to, holding my hand crossbow in my hand, say to the old woman or old creature, what's giving you the right to take this child from its parents?
It's for protection. They're paying me to prevent the rest of their family to be invaded by Strahd. Our dark magics allow us some reprieve from him.
They do not seem particularly appreciative of your service.
They seem to think that this is not the payment that they had offered. I'm going to look at the parents and see if I'm misreading the room.
Oh no, the parents.
Is that right?
The parents are looking at you and saying, "Please save my boy." Giving you that look.
Can I insight check said creature?
Oh yeah, sure, go ahead.
15.
As far as you can tell, she's telling them the truth that she's basically hustling them for protection, money or goods.
Well, she said that she's an ally of Strahd. Is that what I heard?
She said that her dark magics can offer them some level of protection from Strahd.
Well, she might be handy in a fight. Let's subdue her.
As the woman
Kidnap the
thing-
kidnapper.
As the woman thing keeps like creeping forward, Vika just approach it and just like grabs onto the cart to try and stop the hag from pulling it further.
Matilda will run up behind her and help her.
Are we gonna get a token for Atric?
No.
Oh, I thought there he is, feasible player. I thought I had put that there. Okay, yeah. As soon as you grab onto the cart, she kind of lets go and she looks at the parent. She's like, "Next time, I won't be so forgiving." And she looks at you and she's like, "So, what do you want?"
I want for you to stop trying to take children from their families.
What she said.
Matilda's just emitting like a low growl at this point.
Yeah, you can tell that she's very much not interested in engaging a lot of you at this point. Like her demeanor just kind of shows that she's just kind of given up on the idea of taking this kid for now.
Are any townspeople watching us? Like, if I take a look around, are there peeping eyes?
Oh yeah, the people are definitely are attracted to the ruckus that you're making out in the street.
If your magic's so powerful that you can stop Strahd, then why don't you go try and stop him instead of just hustling these people for children?
She kind of looks at you and kind of wrinkles her nose a little bit. She's like, "Because I'm only good enough to ensure that he doesn't come after me, and doesn't mean that I'm stupid enough to try to take on that creature. I have some self-preservation."
You're walking around this town taking children when there's people on the street that are ready to throw down. I don't think you have any self-preservation at all. What do you say, Quinn? Do we make an example of this one?
Question really quick before any of this happens. Was she carrying anything, or was it just like rags and this old lady?
Yeah, you can tell that there's another sack in the bag, or sorry, there's another sack in the cart that she has on there that isn't moving. It's just been kind of still.
No.
Is it
weapons
child
or-
sized?
Yeah,
What's
how
another-
how big is it?
Not too
Oof.
big. Probably something that equivalent to like a 10-pound potato sack.
So we're talking curled up child size.
If you want to go that route, yeah.
Well, I mean, you kind of went this route, but
What's in the sack?
She opens it up. She's like, pastries.
Do they actually look like pastries?
Yeah, she opens it up and they look pretty much like a mincemeat pie.
And
What kind of meat are in those mincemeat pies?
Yep.
Yeah, does this look Fleet Street meat pie?
oh god, the same thing.
God. She she goes, it's a secret recipe.
Insight check.
Okay.
Is it soil and green meat pies?
I'm
Actually-
away for a second.
Hang on a sec. That's right. I have advantage on that. I forgot about that. $18. I keep forgetting about the. Oh crap! I accidentally hit the button again.
That's fine.
It was 18.
Yeah,
I forgot I had advantage.
You can definitely tell that she's not lying about the fact that she's safely guarding the recipe for said ingredients, but because of that, you know that the ingredients themselves seem like they're not exactly something that are.
She wants to advertise.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Did she let the kid go? Like,
Yeah.
did the kid run away?
Yeah, she undid the sack and the kid ran back into the home.
Are the parents still outside, or are they inside the home now too?
You see the dad just kind of standing in the doorway with a concerned look on his face, but he has part of the door covering him up front. So he's not standing out front of the door, he's just kind of hiding behind it with just kind of keeping an eye on the situation.
Okay. Does this happen often? Does this creature come and take your children?
He kind of nods his head, shakenly, and he kind of mummers out, but just not her sisters too. And the hag kind of looks at, and he's like, silence, or else you forget any help we provide.
What help are you actually providing?
She gives a kind of a wry smile. She's like, well, if we take the children, then we basically put a warding on there and kind of keep the attention off of Strahd and let him know that there's nothing worth value in there.
Does Strahd attempt to go house to house in every single place in this entire city, in this entire country, looking for things that he might want?
Does he often go searching at people's houses and their couches for their lost coppers? No.
She cackles and she's like, well, they say that he and the land are one, and because of that, anything that happens here, he's aware of. And she just lets
So
out his cackle.
he is aware of your extortion of these innocent people, his food, and he appreciates this?
We weed out the weak.
Hey Sal,
You-
while they're having this dialogue, I'm gonna hide behind Matilda and then start making my way around the side of the building to flank her. So I'm gonna make a stealth roll.
Yep, go ahead.
And in 3 hours, I'll find out my result. Cool. Yeah, that's a 26. We're good to go.
Yeah, I can't beat that even with a nat 20. So yeah, you're able to.
So I start sneaking her. I'm just gonna move around this house here, and while they're talking this whole time.
Okay, yeah.
Let me know if I run into any like wolves or something back here.
No, I mean it's just some, your general unkept, bushes and shrubs and grass and everything. But you've been doing this long enough that you know how to deal with that without making noise.
Yeah. This is unacceptable. So yeah, fuck it. Vika is going to brandish her glaive and activates Giant's Bite.
Uh, just before you attack her, she's gonna make one last plead with you. She's like, wait. If you let me go, I will give you secret information.
Vika pauses for a moment. Insight check.
Okay.
Oh wow! I rolled a 1 and a 2.
With a 6, you can at least tell that she has something to say that you may or may not know. So there's information to be gotten. Whether or not that information is something that you don't know, you're not entirely sure yet.
Then what is it? Speak, creature.
She's like, okay. There is Strahd has a closely guarded secret, and it is in a temple of forbidden lore hidden in the mountains. That temple can be reached by following the long, winding Solina Pass.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that one more time? I'm trying to jot it down too.
I'll put it in the campaign
excellent.
information. Let me just take out this piece because that means nothing to you guys. All right, so that's what she ends up telling you guys.
Is this what she looks like? Like this token?
It's just, she's just a generic night hag in terms of overall appearance.
Okay.
At first she had a guise of an old woman, and then she broke her illusion when, the party approaches.
Sorry, our food got here like an hour later than we were
good.
expecting, so Luke had to run and get that.
All right. Okay. You run along and you tell your sisters that you are not to take any children from this place anymore. It is defended, and if I hear that you're doing this to any other townspeople anywhere, I will find all of you and take all of you out. Do you understand me?
Yes. And then she just starts sauntering off in, this direction, and then flees all the way south.
You all right, son?
Well, yes, thank you.
What was she offering to you? I'm talking to the parents now. What was she offering to you in ways of protection?
The dad's like, well, apparently she can put us in a trance that, makes us look, like lifeless statues, and apparently Strahd can't tell the difference between us and, how can I put it, like a statue. It kind of just makes you seem so lifeless that he has no interest in you. But we've heard from the other townsfolk that they've tried it, and their houses have been passed by Strahd multiple times without him paying them any mind. So we thought that...
Has he paid you any mind before?
Well, he... Once every, decade, he comes by all the towns and search for people that might, I don't know, appeal to him, I guess. And, oh man, I'm sorry, I'm stumbling over myself. It's been a long morning.
Understandable. Well, you take your son, you be safe. Don't buy into anybody's protection scams. And we are doing our best to try and take care of this whole Strahd situation, so
Yeah, thank you, my
good
lord.
luck on you, and stay safe.
Yeah, he kind of gives you a weird hand gesture as he shuts the door and he closes it.
Well, that was bracing. All right.
This place is so wrong. It is so. There is something truly just wrong with this place.
I
Oh,
promise
don't
you,
worry.
I will not suffer. I will not suffer anybody who takes a child for trade. We all know what's going on in this land. I know what it's like to be bartered. This monster wanted something from me too. If I see it happen again, I will not hesitate to have her mine.
We'll cut the whole thing off at the source, so hopefully it won't be a problem once we're done with this place. All right, so let's head to this Blood of the Vine and see if we can find our erstwhile friend.
All right. So yeah, you guys survived this random event that transpired in the town. So we'll go back to the Blood of the Vine. Let me make this viewable for you guys. Player visible. And
Since I wasn't here with you last time, could you explain to me where we're going?
Oh, really nice tavern. And by really nice, I mean it's really dreadful.
It's a really awful tavern with a poor selection of beverages. It is honestly, I am ashamed to call it a tavern.
I believe the title of the place is quite. I look at the sign again as I walk in. Sal,
uh-huh.
is it blood on the vine or blood of the vine? I seem to be misremembering things.
Of Blood of the Vine.
Yeah, Blood.
I think we just had this conversation.
I know the conversation we were having, but I wanted to check the sign. Remember, I see things that are just a little off.
Yeah, it is the Blood of the Vine. I will put the Blood of the Vine Tavern.
Still blood of the vine. All right. It'd be weird if it was called blood on the vine. It's appropriate. Anyways.
So as you guys enter into the tavern again, you actually see that the barkeep you met is actually unboxing a large amount of crates, and he just looks you over and he's like, "Oh, welcome back. Didn't think you were gonna return."
Oh, we're not that innocent. Whatever that means. Hey, I've got a question for you. We are, a couple of nights ago we were here and we were talking to this Ismark fella.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ever since you guys talked to them, he hasn't been back here since then.
Well, and I don't expect he's the type of fella that just sits around at a table moping around. Is there a place that we might be able to find him? I imagine that you're a person who knows people.
He nods his like, yeah, he's probably back at the local burgomaster's mansion. It's pretty much due south from here. Can't miss it.
I'm sorry, what kind of mansion?
Oh, my pronunciation's gonna suck on this.
The burgomaster. That's a colloquialism, I believe.
Yeah.
Like a mayor or a leader. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you're correct.
You have the
on that.
spelling somewhere?
Yeah, it's burgomaster. Let me copy this. And
Is this like the King of Monsters, Burger King?
no, sadly not.
It's gonna bust in and there's gonna be like the Burger King as the boss that we have to fight.
Well, Dr. Atrix, this is the terribly dreadful Blood on the Vine Tavern. It appears that there's no one here.
No, everyone is either hiding in their homes or deciding to go about their business today.
Well, I've seen worse.
Just wait till you try the alcohol.
You can see that the barkeep's like, I've been waiting for that. He starts putting out bottles. He's like, I took your advice, and I figured it's time to stock up. It seems like business might pick up a little bit here. I asked the Vistani about what type of wines people want or drink, since I haven't had anything really to keep in stock since I don't have many patrons. So he pulls out, two or three bottles of what appears to be white wines. Like they call this a Chardonnay, and he points at no one's like a Pinot Grigio, and I want
Grigiot.
what I don't know. It's on the label here, and then he pulls up the last one. He's like, and this one's a Sauvignon Blanc. Long.
With every word, Vika is just flinching. And this is coming from someone who cannot speak common well.
I really appreciate what you're doing here, for the record.
And then he puts out like, and here's a Merlot, I think it's called, and a Malbec, and a Syrah, I don't know, and a Pinot Noir. I'm not.
That one sounds fancy.
Right? I had to pay a pretty gold for most of these, but I figure if
You're paying gold for this stuff.
he nods his head, he's like, yup.
Interesting. Do you want to hang out here for a little bit, or do we want to get on with heading over to this Burgomaster's place? Or
Let's do that. Let's go to the Burger Master.
I'm sure we'll be coming back here to have a night, anyways. But shakes her. I throw him a still over just for talking to me.
He's like, yep, glass will be here waiting for you. Alright, so yeah, aside from that, guys, we'll go ahead and switch back to the Barovian map. So yeah, if you look at the map of the town from where you guys, from where the tavern was, then if you go due south past the Mercantile and just straight south of where the hag was going, that house down at the end of the row is where he had instructed you to go. Check it.
Maybe the hag was the Burgomaster.
What a twist.
What a twist. So yeah, you guys go out. Are you guys gonna make a run by your favorite local vendor?
No need.
No, I don't think we have anything to sell him right now.
We don't have any pitch and torches with which to light his place of business on fire, so no.
We'd be very wrong about that, but
You have pitch. Don't tempt me.
It's a parrot after all.
Jesus.
Let's just mosey along.
All right. As you guys keep going south past the Mercantile, I need you all to go ahead and make me a perception check.
Goodness.
I don't know
15?
shit.
I noticed my one thing for the night, and now I'm done.
18.
I'm just
I know the
twirling
feeling.
energy between my fingers.
15.
All right. Is that everyone? All right. Anyone with a 15 or over? As you get 2 houses south past the, past the Mercantile, you hear a weeping coming from the top of the house, on the right side. So on the right side down here, you end up hearing some weeping.
I will look over in the direction.
Yeah. You end up, upon closer inspection, Quinn, you end up having, hearing murmuring and crying and, some slight wailing from someone from the top floor of said building.
isn't the same fucking family I just saved, right?
No, different.
All right, well,
That was
it's inside somebody's house on the second floor. Can I like peer in and see like what's going on?
So as you approach the door and check on the windows, you can tell that the house is in poor shape. You can see that there's bowls strewn about, and the furniture kind of out of place, like chairs from the table are kind of knocked over on the side, and you kind of see that there's also like clothing all over the ground and everything. It kind of seems like the house was kind of torn apart.
Do we knock?
Are we here to save every single damsel in distress?
Yeah, does this sound like a "oh no, I'm being attacked" kind of scream, or like a "oh no, I've lost someone and I'm grieving" kind of thing?
More towards the latter.
Oh well, give them their privacy. They don't need 6 strangers in their home.
What do we think? We just gonna let it be? Does it look like somebody like broke into the house and like was taking stuff?
You can't make that judgment from outside the house. But you can definitely tell though that it could either be that or someone frantically searching or turning the house upside down looking for something.
I will loudly knock on the door, and it was a woman sobbing, right?
Right. And as you knock on the door, it ends up the door actually just kind of just pushes open with each, like your first knock kind of just sets the door ajar, and the second knock kind of just pushes it, kind of forces it open with some ease, and you can hear the woman crying a little bit more from upstairs.
Excuse me, ma'am. Are you in need of help?
My poor baby, she's gone. You can hear her wailing and screaming that in grief.
Oh, all right. Well, I will beeline up to her. She said the stupid trigger words.
We checked the bag, yes?
In the bag were the mincemeat pies.
Yeah, I'm just pointing it out because there was another small child missing.
If I open up one of... Go ahead.
I was just going to go up to her and say, "What happened to your baby?"
You could, she basically looks at you. You can tell that she has been crying for a while. Like her eyes are like bloodshot red, and she's sobbing so much so that you can tell that even her shawl is just drenched in tears. And she's like, she basically just tells you in broken up words that her daughter Gertruda broke out of their house a week ago. Has not been seen since.
Broke out of the
Broke,
house?
yeah. Broke out?
Yeah. You can actually see Quinn as you're upstairs. You can kind of tell that normally with the rest of the house being barricaded in certain spots, you can tell that there's broken floorboards from the bedroom room that she's sobbing in, and it looks like they were broken in from the inside.
What was the daughter's name again?
Gertruda. Let me put that in the thing.
Miss, I feel like you're not giving us... You're intentionally not giving us a key piece of information here.
She's obviously upset. How long ago did this happen?
A week. My baby's been gone for a week.
How old was your baby?
She just became a young woman just a little while ago, so kind of around the age of like 13, 14-ish, like young teenager.
She seems to have made quite the mess on her way out.
I'm trying to protect her. Strahd's been coming around, and he likes taking young girls, trying to find a new wife. And she just starts breaking down, crying again, and she's gonna be taken.
How long has she? How long had you been hiding her?
She basically has said that she's been trying to hide her daughter for probably at least several months now, if not almost a year, as her daughter's growth was becoming more evident, that she was becoming more mature.
So you had her locked in? Is that what I'm hearing?
Indeed. She's like, yes, yes. I tried to protect her from that monster.
And she wanted to get out because she's.
She didn't. She. Oh God! I told her that life outside the house would not be good, and she didn't believe me. She said I was smothering her too much.
Can I insight check the
Yeah.
crocodile, please?
Yeah. Go ahead.
This is all bizarre.
Oh, 13.
You can definitely tell that she is not lying. Like she even though she's been overprotective, she was definitely trying to ensure that her daughter was not picked up by Strahd. Like she was so afraid that Strahd might choose her to be his next consort that she tried everything to prevent. I mean, the only thing that seemed to be barred were like the windows to prevent people from looking in, and everything else looks fine otherwise.
We know Strahd's a vampire. Did that come up already?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we know he's a vampire, and this is his domain that we're in.
Well, so how much do we know about vampire isms? This is out of character, I'm asking. Like, how familiar are we with vampirisms?
Roll history check.
Yeah, I'm gonna have you do that. Quinn, Vika, Lyndon. From your background, I'll let you roll that with advantage. I didn't see anyone else.
Actually, the last description I have is that I roll advantage on history checks or like tracking or like knowledge about the undead.
Right.
So we're all rolling history with those.
No, well, let's go.
Yeah, you guys are rolling, but only those three characters since they are actual hunters of the supernatural.
What the fuck?
Oh God.
He knows all.
5? Are you shitting me? Okay.
Yeah, no, don't look at my fucking rolls.
Ugh.
So, where. Do you have any idea where your daughter could have gone? Like, any friends, relatives in the city, neighboring cities, maybe?
She
Boyfriends.
she nods her head. She's like, I think he took her. I think my poor baby was scooped up and taken to Castle Ravenloft.
What do we think? What did the roll tell us? Like, what did we determine? From
So, let's see here.
Hydrick probably knows a lot.
Yeah, Etrix has been studying vampires for quite a long time. Lyndon, that was kind of like your area of expertise was vampires. In comparison to everyone else. So you two know for without a shadow of a doubt that vampires like to take consorts and turn beautiful young women into their current partners, and they do this every so often when they get bored with their old ones. It's very rare.
Basically, I know vampires can charm
Yeah,
people.
that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I look at Etrix, or Etrix probably mentioned something and like, oh, the bastard might have charmed her. Might have charmed her. That's the only thing that makes any reasonable sense for a young girl to break out of here so frantically, right?
Don't be stupid. They can't do that.
Just out of curiosity, after her disappearance, did you check with her friends, with extended family, with any young men that she might have been acquainted with?
She shook her head. She's like, no one's seen her. The last person who saw her said that she walked out to the mist and towards the castle, and no one's seen her since.
Well, that answers that.
That is unfortunate.
She must have she willingly handed herself over, although not willingly, because it was the effects of the thrall, one of the thrall effects, I believe. Does that sound familiar, Atrix?
Yes, she may have been charmed. May I see her room?
Oh yeah, you can go ahead and roll me an investigation.
I want to look at. I want to go into her room. So you said it blew up from the inside out. Is that what happened?
Right, like you can see that the boards that were used to board up the windows in her room, they were pulled down from within. Like it wasn't an explosion from the outside.
Mm.
It looks like that the wood was torn off to
Okay.
give her enough passage to squeeze through.
Oh, so okay. Can I look and see if like I want to look around her room in general, and then I want to look specifically and see if did she like pry them open with her bare hands?
Go and
That
roll me an
looks like.
investigation. We'll go from there.
Yeah. Okay. Let's. Woo.
Real quick, are there any other rooms in the house that look like this?
Not really. It's kind of like, for the most part, it's kind of put into like a standard washroom to kind of just wash hands, face, and hang laundry up top, and then just two decently sized bedrooms for her and her daughter. With an 18, you can tell that within her room that it seems like she was able to, move the board and get it loose enough to where she can slide it down a bit to where she can narrowly squeeze out the window in her room. Um, but aside from that, there's nothing really out of character. You can kind of tell that, you know, as you look through her wardrobe and stuff, that she kind of was dressed. I wouldn't say to the nines, but dressed well enough to deal with the like weather conditions and stuff like that.
Just to sate my curiosity, we saw the inside of the house and it was wrecked, like in the living room. Yes.
Yep.
So if girl escaped through window, why is living room ruined
We could go.
a week ago?
Oh, she's basically telling you that she was trying to find any mention or any clue that could have, you know, had her daughter might have left or anything that could have given her an idea where she went. Like she wrecked the house in search of anything that could give her an idea where her daughter.
Insight check.
Yeah, go ahead.
Natural 20.
Yeah, she's being completely honest with you. You know for a fact that she, with her grief and how much in distraught she is, she was obviously just trying to find any sliver of hope of trying to maybe find any idea where her daughter may have went, and she kind of tore the house apart trying to find clues and stuff, and she just, yeah, sadly, she's so dropped in grief that nothing that she hasn't even bothered picking up after herself for that long.
Beatrix will come to the party. Well, she most likely seems to have been thralled and is probably at Castle Ravenloft then.
Mika just kneels down next to the woman and tries to give her a hug, pulls her into her embrace.
Yeah, she just sobs into you. You can tell that she's also, as you got closer to her, she's clutching, what appears to be a doll in her hand.
All right. Well, we most likely will end up in the castle of Ravenloft at some point. So if we are able to find and save your daughter, we will. But
Was it at this house, the one we're all kind of standing in front of?
It's this one here.
Oh, that one. How do we do the arrow again? Oh, okay. Okay. Can I actually go to this house and knock on the door?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. As you knock, you hear a voice going, "Who is it?"
Hello, I am Dr. Etrix. May I ask you a few questions?
Uh, he kind of peers out. He's like, okay, "Sure, but just make it quick."
Do you know much about the family that lives there? And I'll point to the house that we were just in.
He's like, "Mary? Yeah, yeah. Her daughter, Gertruda. Yeah, they've been pretty quiet over the last few months. I'm not sure why, but we haven't seen much activity. She just goes and grabs groceries and comes back, and especially during the denser mist months, we really don't see much activity out there. Is she okay? We haven't seen her come out in some time."
You you say she's been quiet lately. Is she normally not so quiet?
Well, once in a while, she'll bring me and my wife, you know, leftovers, bread or anything that she isn't gonna use, we kind of share around here, and we haven't seen her lately.
Okay.
Can I ask the mother a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, why is it that you thought Strahd was coming for your daughter specifically? Did you have any reason to believe that, or just general worry because that's what he does? He goes for people's daughters.
She kind of gives you a general explanation that Strahd's been kind of peeking around the houses on this row a little bit more frequently than other places, and for a while it seemed like he was stopping by almost every night for at least for like a month straight, and this was within the last 2 months.
Oh, Strahd was just coming here? Okay.
Yeah,
Like to this house specifically, or to the houses on this row?
the houses on this row.
Is the house where Bismarck and his sister live on this row?
Yeah, it's down at the bottom of the row actually.
Since that is very odd, why would he target Gertruda if he was interested in the sister of Bismarck?
I don't know. That's a question we should ask Ismark himself.
Numbers game, maybe? I don't know. Do they? Do you know this man's sister that we're talking of? Do they look similar? His sister and your daughter.
She nods her head. It's like no.
Oh, okay. Does it seem like she's being truthful about this? Because it feels like a crazy coincidence that she. Well, not anymore as much, but like.
I'm guessing from the insight checks that we've rolled already, probably.
Yeah, everything that we've seen from the inside checks, like.
Right. I mean, you have the information that it's not uncommon for vampires to charm young men or women, depending on who they may be courting, and the fact that Strahd's been hanging around here and they've been truthful about that. It seems very likely that she probably got charmed.
Yeah, I guess I hadn't realized that Strahd was just coming around here, like physically,
Yeah.
like personally.
With my past history check, would I know what happens to these people that turn into thralls if the vampire dies?
It depends. Like if the ritual, the vampiric ritual's complete, they still retain their independence with that. But if they have not been initiated, then and haven't fallen into the vampirism, then there's a chance that they could be saved, depending on any psychic damage that might have incurred.
Does he know how long that'll take?
It varies vampire to vampire in terms of how long. You guys don't know. The problem is you guys don't know Strahd's habits well enough to make a discerning statement about how quickly he would do the deed, so to speak.
So she does not look anything like Ismark's sister, and they're on the same row. That is super suspicious, and I trust this woman. So I'm kind of suspicious of Ismark now.
Yep.
Well, let's go and find out from him. Ma'am, if we have the possibility of finding your daughter, we will, but if we don't, I can make no
Vika
promises.
just kind of puts up her hand at Quinn. Listen, this is very, very important. What is your name?
My name's Mary.
Mary. Mary. If we can find your daughter and return her home, it is very important that she have a home and a wonderful mother to return to. So, we are going to try and find a way to bring her home. But you need to pick yourself up. You need to clean your house and you need to take care of yourself. Think of how your daughter would feel if she could see you like this. Care for yourself so you can care for her when she comes home.
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion with advantage.
All right. $18.
Yeah, you can tell that she kind of wipes her eyes with the sleeves of her shirt, and she stands up. She's like, "You're right. and she starts picking herself up and stumbling starts cleaning up the room that was in tatters that was her daughter. She starts making the bed and starts picking up stuff. She's like, thank you.
We will do everything we can to see her return to you. Do not lose hope.
She gives a nod, and she continues to clean up the room and gets it prepped and cleaned up.
Good. Does anyone else have anything they need to ask?
So I'm not curious as to what Ismark's situation would be.
Agreed.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else, we'll proceed to the end of the road with that house. All right, and we'll force you guys on the new map. All right, and force players to current map. And put you on current view. All right, as you guys approach, I need you all to go ahead and roll me a perception check. All right, so that looks like it's everyone. All right, congratulations, you've all passed, with the exception of Parrot. So, with that, as you guys start looking at the grounds as you guys approach it, you can tell that that the weeds have been trampled all around the mansion, and you guys actually end up finding some large wolf paw prints and some human footprints. In front of you, a weary-looking mansion squats behind a rusted iron fence. The iron gates are twisted and torn. The right gate lies cast aside, while the left swings lazily in the wind. The shuddering squeal and clang of the metal of the gate repeats in a mindless precision. Weeds choke the ground and press the menace upon the house itself, yet the walls and growth have been trampled down to create a path about the domain. Heavy claw markings have been stripped to the once beautiful finished walls. Great black marks tell of fires that have assailed the mansion. Not a pane nor a shard of glass stands in any window. All the windows are barred with planks, each one marked with stains of an evil omen. Outside of the house, you see your buddy Ismark, as he's trying to yell to his sister, "Hey, let me in!" Yeah, and then
All right, so I will allow myself through the torn asunder gate.
yeah, Ismark hears you approach. He's like, "Oh, look! Oh, let me change that token out."
Well, look indeed.
Oop. That was odd.
What seems to be all the hubbub?
He looks. He kind of just looks at you. It's like, "Well, I didn't expect you guys to come by. I kind of gave up on you folks, but I am here to convince my sister of my plan to uh, travel to said place, and I maybe the fact that there are adventurers here to save her might get her to, I don't know, maybe persuade her to, to said plan."
Just said place and said plan. You're using the word said like it actually means something.
He kind of just goes, "You know what I mean. We're trying to take her over to the village that's fortified. You know what I told you we're in the bar the other night when I was halfway drunk?
Right, you wanted to take her to
Valaki.
Locky.
Does the damage look recent or does it look old?
Both. You can tell that some of it was pretty fresh within the last day or two, and some of the other stuff seems like it's looks like it's been assailed for at least a few weeks now.
So gesturing to the gate, I'm going to ask, do you know what? So what happened to all this?
He's like, do you want the stuff that happened this week, last week, or within the last month?
Let's start with the most recent.
Okay. So last night, Strahd sent an entourage to escort my dear sister to Castle Ravenloft, and apparently they did not appreciate being said no to. And as we tried to lock the gate, they kind of said, "Well, we don't care about said gate," and kind of ripped it apart.
There's that word again. What everybody gate notwithstanding, everybody seems to be no worse for the wear. How did you manage to manage that?
Ismar kind of looks in. He's like, "Well, luckily this entourage wasn't exactly large or anything that we haven't dealt with before. You know, one or two ghouls, a werewolf, nothing too crazy. At least Strahd himself didn't come this time."
Okay, I gotta ask: does he look like he's telling the truth about like Strahd sending people for her sister?
Yeah, he definitely knows that this is Strahd's gimmick that he will go and terrorize people and their families in order to get his prey.
Okay.
Although, quick question: with my failed perception check, what didn't I notice exactly?
You
Just like the overall look of the building.
you couldn't discern the difference between the footprints and the paw prints. Like to you, it just looks like something trampled through recently on the grass and the dirt.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Very good. Yeah, he kind of just points over to a small smoldering pile of I wouldn't say rubble, but you can just see a small smoldering pile of what looks to be bodies and wood. It's like, yeah, I even put them to the torch, so that way there's nothing to bring back.
So heard or seen, you haven't heard any reports of, sorry, or seen Strahd on this block recently, have you?
He kind of sighs like, well, not him personally for at least a month. Last time he was here a month ago, well, let's just say that my dear sweet sister uh, did not enjoy her last confrontation.
What happened?
Well, you see Strahd's, and all of a sudden you hear that the door kind of flings open, and you see Irina just kind of come out and just sock her brother in the mouth. It's like, idiot, they could be working for him. And you kind of see, you know, poor Ismark just kind of dazed from that hit. Like, she caught him square on the jaw, and then she runs back in, and just, you hear the door kind of get bolted back up. Takes him a second. He covers his senses, and he's like, ow. Oh, sorry. My sister isn't so trustworthy as I am, but he kind of looks over at the door and goes, I'm trying to, save your life, make sure that, you don't become Mrs. Strahd the whatever, the 100th, 120th. He looks back at you guys and goes, and this is what I'm dealing with.
So you're certain that Strahd has not been here in the last month?
Well, not personally, at least I haven't seen him, but
I'll shout out over him. Irina, is that the name? Yeah, Irina, have you seen him?
she's like, I don't know you. Not trusting anyone I don't know.
Stranger.
Well, that actually makes sense.
Okay.
Well,
It just seems rather peculiar, considering the fact that not a week ago he kidnapped a small girl.
Ismark kind of goes, "Who?"
Small girl who lives on your block.
He goes,
True.
he's like, "Oh no." He kind of just puts his sword away, and you can kind of see kind of a kind of defeated look on his face. Is like, "So it's come to this. Damn, I knew we should have moved faster."
Does he often steal other people who look nothing like the woman he wishes for, and just makes off with them and does
You're
not
back.
return for her?
He shakes his like, "No, I think. Well, let's just say that Strahd is pretty predictable in his methods. According to a tale from 50 years ago, the well, not this town, but over in oh god damn it, yeah, I'll just say Valaki. Over in Valaki, he kidnapped every woman with at least under who had not seen enough winters, I guess you can say, in exchange for the person that he thought was his beloved. And until there was basically the townspeople tried to protect the man's beloved, and because of that, they had to make a trade. It was all the town's women, and even some that were you can consider children, or the one that he was searching for. So it seems like he's
So
repeating
what
the
you're
process.
saying is that he is now going to rampage through the city, steal all the young women in exchange for your sister.
He nods his head.
And you intend to just leave? To just fuck off?
He shakes his
While
head.
that happens?
He shakes his head. He's like, if I move her and put her into a fortified position like Valaki, he'll know that she's there and it may spare the townsfolk.
But you just said that this happened in Valaki. Why would it be safer there?
Well, since then they've refortified their defenses. Heard that there's some sort of enchantment or something there that he doesn't lightly tread. Might be our best shot. That's why I wanted to go there originally. Weeks ago, as he kind of looks over at the door.
Well, why haven't you gone?
He points at the door. It's like, because she doesn't want me involved. She thinks she's protecting me by not, I don't know, letting me save her life?
So instead, she will see a rest of town sacrificed for her.
And with that, you can hear the door unlocking and she comes out. And even though that you can tell that she's not trying to intimidate you, sorry, wrong thing. Even though she's trying not to intimidate you, so to speak, you can tell that she kind of goes like, no, no more. This has gone on long enough, and I won't let another take my place. You win, Ismark.
And you're certain that he will stop stealing children if she is gone.
She reluctantly takes down, the scarf around her neck, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sure," and she shows you bite marks on her neck.
May I examine those?
She's looking like she is not willing to entertain that question.
Before we go around picking and prodding, especially at someone who might be, anyways, we should probably introduce ourselves. Apparently, she doesn't trust us. She might be thinking that we're working for, well, he who should not be named, but we're just naming him left and right. So I believe he's just, the Dark Lord of this land. I got nothing to do with him. We got a bit of a bone to pick with him. My name is Lyndon, and well, we're here to we're thinking about going after Strahd in a serious way. Wouldn't you say, Quinn, and that we have our fates are entwined at this point?
Quinn is presently taking a phone call from work.
All right. Well, Venvika, you would say that our fates are a bit entwined at this point.
It is probably more accurate to say that we are his new wave of toys.
Yeah, on that note, has anybody given thought to what we're trying to do? Like, I understand the goal is to kill Strahd because he ruined all of our lives, blah, 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 etc., but look at where we are. I feel as though that's so unbelievably far out of our reach that, like, have we given thought to what we're actually doing here?
Then what else do you wish to do? What else can we do? Do you wish to settle down here, get house, perhaps open up a small little tailoring shop? Will you make shoes?
That's lovely.
Will you become cobbler?
I will openly just like ignore kind of what they're saying, and I will bow like as elegantly as I attempt to and say, "Parrot."
And, like, it's not about that. There are, I suppose, other ways to look for ways out. Like, we know that people have ways out. What our goal is right now is to kill him, and that's not like an end all be all, I suppose.
He is the monster who has taken everything from at least half of us.
He's the entity that's keeping us here, to be perfectly clear, Sailor. Like, we are not getting out of here unless he is out of the way. Unless we magically show him that the only people that he lets in and out are these Vistani people. Because he favors them. I don't think he favors us. I definitely don't think he favors this lady Arena over here.
Well, he also said that they have the means to get us out. It would just cost a lot because it means that they couldn't come back, and so they make their money.
I'm not leaving until I know he's taken care of.
But this is kind of my point. Not necessarily that there's anything we can do about it, but if we take a step back, we're in a country that he is lord of that's separate from the plane that we are native to. He transported us here, he adjusted our fates, and is trapping thousands, tens of thousands of people in his domain for his entertainment. And we almost got done in by a couple of werewolves just the other day.
And what makes you so certain that anyone can actually get us out then? If he is this powerful, even if they did get us out,
I'm not
then
saying
he could simply bring us back.
I'm certain that we can get out by those people. I just mean, like, this.
He's been guiding our paths to get us here this entire time. So
while they're having this conversation, I want to go up to this man and say, "You said Strahd has visited here himself, correct?"
He nods his head. It's like, yeah. Well, it's probably been a couple of weeks at least, but he keeps sending an entourage to kindly ask my sister here to accompany him to Castle Ravenloft, and then we respond in kind, and he points back over to, the burning pile that he currently has going.
Why hasn't Strahd come and just taken your sister himself?
Well, if you lived as long as he did, he's more excited about the chase more than anything. He's got eternity to wait.
What to the party? Well, if he is as all powerful as we think, it just seems not to make much sense. If he is just bored, it could be exploited.
Take this just for the question, not an insinuation of action, but just a question. In the past, for others that he has marked as his future bride, has anyone killed them?
He nods. He's like, some adventurers like yourselves have been fortunate to kill some of his wives or consorts, whatever you want to call them. But he,
And what has Strahd done?
um, well, as you can tell, said adventurers perished, and he just replaces them when he feels like he needs some new blood in his life.
So he does not protect them. He will not protect Irina.
He nods his head, and he's like, he he basically goes. The legend is that he had a lover, and if they don't produce the same strong will and aptitude that she had, then if they die, well, then apparently they were not his beloved reincarnated, and he just lets them perish.
Because he's insane. That's the answer that I'm hearing. He's gone nuts.
I feel as though perhaps those who live in glass houses should not throw stones.
I have already ruled out my sanity at this point, but as I told you all, I'm leaning into it right now. So
Does not change the fact that again glass house throw stone.
so but anyways, all I'm trying to say here, Salith, that I'm not really. I don't know why we're having this conversation in front of this person. We're trying to convince, or at least like show that we're, reasonable people that are trying to. Just seems like this conversation should have happened yesterday.
Well, some new information came to light, and this is why we have conversation now. Here's the thing: you are concerned we work for vampire. We do not like vampire. We are not from this place. We are his newest victims. You are free to come with us. We will take you to this place where your brother thinks you're safe. If not, then small child of town will keep vanishing.
And with that, just for what it would seem like, minutes on end, but really no more than 10 seconds, there's a break in the clouds, and the sun comes out and shines on the area that you're in. And, both Arena and Ismark look up, and, they look at each other, and you see a tear fall from Arena's eyes as she's like, I forgot what it looks like most of the time. And she looks at she's like, this is a good omen.
Wait, is there a sun here?
It happened for like all of 10 seconds, but yeah, it parted, the clouds parted just enough just so that way some sunlight got in.
Did other people on the block, like up and down, notice this?
Yeah, I mean, some people kind of, you see a couple of townsfolk poking their heads out of the top windows and stuff and just taking the second of realizing that the sun is there. And then as soon as the sun disappears behind the clouds again, they retreat back into their homes.
Here's a question. You said Strahd would let his wives die because they are considered weak, correct?
Ismark nods
Or
his head. Yep.
have you tried convincing Strahd that your sister is just weak? That he is wrong?
He shakes his head. It's like, unfortunately, that man's spies and scouts have pretty much made that an impossibility at this point.
So, what about poison make her look sick?
Well, the spies would learn she's just poisoned, I would assume.
He's like, oh, that actually would have been a smart idea, a year ago, maybe 2 years ago.
Well, are we escorting them then?
Well, we are headed there anyway.
We're planning to go there. It might just like change our path, but that was what we were going to do.
It was the plan.
What time of day is it?
It's almost midday at this point.
How long is the journey?
That's a good question indeed. Where's my map of freaking... So if we're looking at the map from Barovia to Valaki, you guys are gonna, if you guys stay on the main roads, probably gonna take you at least a day and a half.
It is not so bad.
Is there any place to like stop in between, like a fortified place, or is it just wilderness and roads?
On the map, you know that you could make a pit stop back at the encampment if the Vistani are there, but that puts you within eyesight of Castle Ravenloft, and I don't know if there's any other places that...
Also, we know that the Vistani worked for Strahd. Perhaps not a good idea to bring his future bride to their camp.
Yes. Well, we should probably leave early in the morning then.
So, we want to leave first things tomorrow morning?
Give us a chance to get our feet under us, go and check and see the priest at the abbey. We still wanted to do that, yes. And leave in the morning.
This is probably a good idea. So, we leave at dawn tomorrow. If you wish to come, pack your things and be prepared.
They both
If
nod their
not,
head.
may the gods have mercy on you.
Ismark, was it?
Nods head, yep.
Strahd, what does he value in his wives? Just their strength?
He kind of goes, well, there's strength, there's physical attraction as well. He really just picks out folks that are aesthetically pleasing as well. Kind of just scrolls over anything that kind of reminds him of his ex. I don't know. What would you call someone that a past love? I guess they weren't even married. Come to some parts of history, they...
So his lover.
Well, she didn't really love him back, but I guess...
His unwilling lover. Oh, this is getting
yeah,
gross.
his unrequited love for someone. Yeah, we'll have to dig up some history on this at some point. I've been... A lot of the records, unfortunately, haven't lasted, but I think maybe Valaki or one of the other towns may actually have a library with more history on the man's legend.
Well, we... I'm sorry. We'll discuss this later. I'll just turn and leave. Or go see with the party. I'm just stuck there in deep thought.
As you guys get ready to leave, you hear the two. It's like, well, we should get good old dad ready and bury him before we leave.
I'm sorry, did you just insinuate that your father is dead but not buried?
She nods her head and she's like, he passed away last night.
Oh. Oh, gods, I am very sorry. My deepest condolences. This must be difficult. Was it the visitors who came?
She kind of mopes over the fact that, she starts breaking down in tears. She's like, he couldn't do it anymore. The constant night assaults, the poor the poor sleep habits and his old age. His poor heart couldn't take it, and he died last night in his sleep.
This is the Burgomaster, I believe.
She nods her head.
I am very sorry. It is not easy to lose your family and to have to leave your home.
I will sit back. Would you like help your father?
It, Ismark's like any assistance would be helpful. We he took us in, and we were orphans, and he took us both in, and so we owe him at least a decent burial.
To look at the party. I'll help them if you wish to go talk to the priest.
Well, where are you burying him? Are you burying him in the graveyard?
Yeah, they both nod their head. They're like, there's
Oh.
there's a there's a plot that overlooks the town over on the hill where the church lies, and he that's where Mom's buried.
Let's see, there you are. So we were thinking about going to see the priest ourselves to have some words. Apparently we can help you out and do some chatting.
Yeah, they kindly accept your help, and they already um, they said that they already have the body already wrapped and ready to be moved. So
Do we have a cart or a wagon that we can take, or do we need to bear him?
yeah, they've got a cart with a small horse that's attached to it that you guys can take. It's got a small enough wagon to carry the body, so that way no one has
Do
to.
the people of the town know all about this?
They shake their head no. It was so sudden, and with people not willing to come out of their house because of the constant danger that the house faces, there's been no one to really relay the information to.
Well, it's very sad. It's an important leader that this town lost. So which one of you takes his place then?
They both look at each other like, we haven't even thought about that. We've been so preoccupied with the assaults and the attacks, we didn't think the old man would pass away from this.
Well,
Will the city be alright without uh, leadership?
You can kind of see Irina kind of just curl up her fist. She's like, "This town can burn for all I care. My father asked for help to, and told them what happened, and all they did was cower their homes. I'm done with this place. I only stayed because."
Can we turn this into like a political intrigue campaign?
I know, right?
Like, see who the next strongest leader would be and hold elections, and that's why we're here, right?
Right.
Yes, this is correct. Let us now help in the campaign for other people, and perhaps we can convince them to hold insurrection against Strahd.
Oh, jeez.
That is the correct response.
These people said that they saw Strahd and they came in person. Do you think that's just what they saw and believe, or do you all believe that he was actually physically here?
They kind of look at each other. It's like, well, we know for a fact that he has been here within the last month, and Irina points to her bite marks. But over the last few weeks, we haven't seen him. The house we've just been pretty much under siege for the entirety of over pretty much almost every night we've been under siege from Strahd's enforcers, and luckily been able to repel them up to this point.
Because instead he is hunting through the town, taking other child.
I suppose I should have made clear that this question was more posed towards the group.
Oh.
In terms of like what you guys think happened, if he actually showed up, or if it's some projection or some.
I do not know enough about this sort of creature, and he seems even what little we may know about vampire, he seems greater than them.
You saw the bite marks on her neck, as I would assume that it was him that did the biting.
Perhaps, but magic is weird. It can do things you would not expect. Perhaps it was some sort of facsimile or something else.
That'd be a pretty powerful illusion. He might be able to do that, but it's, to be fair, this is not like any vampire we've ever heard of before.
Exactly. So we do not know what he is capable of. Perhaps he can send some sort of version, a piece of himself that will bite or enthrall. Or perhaps it's simply really him. And if it is him, this is really bad because we are here without protection. Also, I don't know. My history check was really bad, wasn't it? What is there to know about vampires? I have not encountered one before. Do they obey any rules like the frigid death?
Well, from what, at least from the general knowledge that Etrix and Linden have, there's the rule that they must be invited in, and sunlight's deadly to them. They must obey typical, usually at least for the common vampire, they also have to play by the rules of hospitality.
But these are not things that they have directly said. This was more directed toward those who know, because my history roll was bad.
Yeah, that's what Etrix and Linden like. They give you the general overview of, general rules that most vampires follow.
Okay. So they are similar to frigid death, just not precisely the same.
Right.
Alright. If this is case, then how did he enthrall girl who could not leave house for a year or bite Irina?
Irina just kind of gives you a blank stare, and she's like, "Oh no, my last thing I can recall from my last confrontation was his eyes had an insatiable hunger about them."
But how did he get in your house to look at you?
She shakes her head, like, "I don't know. My memory's gone of that time."
I look at her browser. You didn't invite him in, yes?
He shakes his head, like, "No, I was at the tavern talking it up with the folks there, and all of a sudden I come home and she was lying in front of the house, bitten."
She was outside.
He nods his head, "Yep."
Then is it possible he can enthrall without seeing?
Potentially just without touching.
Without seeing, without touching from afar? Then this is how he took little girl.
Well,
That is terrifying, and we have no protection in the form of house.
Well, what he may have done is casted magic on her inside of the house to have her walk out to them, bite her, and leave.
So his rules of hospitality, his rules that he must obey, do not apply to his magic.
Do they? That's me asking DM. If I would know that.
As far as
It's
you
a
can, it's a theory, but as far as you know, because you don't have very much information about Strahd and how powerful he really is. I mean, there's a theory there's that theory he could have easily caused a distraction to have Arena come outside, and because she was outside the home, those rules don't apply.
So
He
basically,
also he sees himself as the lord of this domain. He feels that everything here belongs to him, so he may have the.
Ooh, that
Yeah.
then,
actually.
then the protection provided by an individual's house would not apply.
To him specifically, possibly not.
Then
Well, the magic theory would also make sense for the other girl.
this is true. Then what little I know from old stories about things like the frigid death are not applicable. They're only its magic only functioned if you denied it hospitality. Otherwise, it could not harm you or your home. This is very bad. It means that there is no safe place. You say Volaki is safe, but if all land is his domain, then perhaps the only reason Velaki appears safe is that he simply doesn't care. Because what he wants is here.
He
But
it Ismark kind of just looks at that, looks at you, and kind of thinks about that, and he's like, "Well, you see what our defenses here are. At least that town's armed to the teeth. At least we can go down swinging."
The rules say welcome you and the danger you bring with you.
He points around. He's like, "Well, as you can see, no one really cares about us here, and who knows? Maybe we can keep this under wraps long enough for us to come up with a plan to deal with said vampire."
As a way we give our word, we will help get you there, but these are things you should consider if it is really not safe there.
He kind of just nods his head. He's like, "All I have is hope, and her for now."
If your father was wealthy, he was leader of this town, do you not have the wealth to convince the Vistani to take you out?
He shakes his head. He's like, "Once he sets his eyes on a prey, the Vastani will not aid us."
I see. This is problematic. And there is no way to um, disguise or obfuscate your appearance.
He kind of thinks about that. It's like, well, we really don't have the resources for that. I mean, the only thing that me and my sister Greta are, you know, kind of points to his words like, I can swing this pretty decently, and can she? But we don't have any dealings with that. And I'm sure that you've probably ran into our merchant, and even with our wealth, we couldn't get what we needed to hide
Oh,
her.
he is worthless.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
May a thousand fires burn his business to the ground.
Yeah,
Honestly, who price gouges their customers like this?
he kind of goes the desperate kind, the kind that need something to protect themselves, and he kind of shakes his head at the point where he's like, "Well, I guess you can say that there's, you know, a last stand to be made. People will pay whatever they can to at least know that they died with some ability to defend themselves."
This
Think of
is
it this way.
nothing worse than profiteering, then.
Think of it this way: if we get rid of Strahd, and this place like returns to some prime material world, then he won't have the sole lock on this market. Basically, we'll be ruining Bildrath's fortune and his lock over all his people.
I feel as though this is a very powerful motivation.
Hey, I heard that we were really willing to do some drastic measures. I think this could, like, at least circumvent something that we might be regretting.
Alright, I need to stop going down this line of thought. This is swerving out of Vika's character. I just really want to fuck up that guy. Alright, so what is our plan from here?
We're going to
Right,
go to the
priest.
priest, talk to them about
Oh god,
burying
their
the dead.
father's dead body. We were having this conversation in front of them, and they just, oh my god, and just lost their father.
Yeah, we're bad people. Anyway, moving forward from that, so we're going to go talk to the priest about burying the father and whatever the fuck else we wanted to talk to him about. I don't remember.
Perhaps Holy Walter? And something to do with his Linden and insanity and slugs and brain? Alright, so let us bring Father to priest.
Alrighty. Anything else you want to do on this map before we load up the church? Oh, crap. Alright, where the hell was that? Oh, there it is. There we go. Oh, I should actually grab said people as well. I keep saying said today. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm stuck on that word. Been saying it all day, and it's now that you guys have put it in my ear that I've said it all night. I'm like, oh yeah, I have actually been saying that all day, haven't I? Okay, so current map should be visible to players. Oh, no. Let's try that again. Alright, so the procession through town is a pretty solemn and quiet one. You know, you see a few people just kind of, as you proceed through town heading north towards the church, you end up seeing a few people who kind of understand the situation, kind of open up windows and start tossing, you know, whatever they have available. You know, you can see some dried out flowers or paper, or I wouldn't say paper ones, but you know, artificial things that at least show some respect for the leader that they've lost. And you know, you guys make it to the church within, you know, a good half hour as you walk through. You can kind of see both Irina and Ismark, you know, slowly, quietly crying as they're walking through, at least knowing that there is some measure of humanity left in the town of Barovia as you guys make it to the church. Alright, let me double check. Alright, let me see if there's a descriptor. Alright. Atop of a slight rise against the roots of the pillar stone supports. Oh, that's odd. Okay, atop a slight rise against the roots of pillar stone that supports Castle Ravenloft stands a gray, sagging edifice of stone and wood. The church has obviously weathered assaults of evil creatures for centuries on end and is worn and weary. A bell tower rises toward the back, and a flickering light shines through the holes in the shingle roof. The rafters strain feebly against their load. As you approach the church doors, the heavy wooden doors of the church are covered with claw marks and scarred by fire.
Oh, good. Not one thing is fucking other in this place. So the scar marks and claw marks, are those old?
Same thing as the last place that you were at. It ended up being that you can tell that some stuff looks pretty ancient, as even that's starting to decay. Like you see some of the claw marks aren't super fresh. That there's some dust and piece of stone that are kind of filling in a little bit as they're crippling. But you can definitely tell that there are a couple of scorch marks that easily could be within at least the last day or two.
You ever try hiding in the church from Strahd? Is it a sanctified place that you can't get into? Does anybody know anything about that? That's probably why there's claw marks on the front here.
Oh, no. Well, let's
Doesn't look any less destroyed as in their house.
let's take a look inside, see what the deal is here.
All right. The doors open to reveal a 10-foot wide, 20-foot long hall that leads to a brightly lit chapel. The hall is unlit and reeks of mildew. 4 doors on each side of the hall lead to adjacent chambers. You can see that the chapel is strewn with debris, and you hear the soft voice within reciting a prayer. Suddenly, the prayer is blotted out by an inhuman scream that rises beneath the wooden floor.
As soon as I hear the screaming, I was starting to step up the steps, and then I just turned back. You'll hear that, right?
Yeah, let's
Yes,
see
no,
what's
that was definitely not in your head.
let's see what's going on inside. All right, so I'll enter the door and see what's going on in there.
All right, yeah. As far as you can tell, the hall in front of you look like it's pretty bad. It doesn't look like anyone has swept up or cleaned this place in quite a while.
So much for sanctified church.
It's not very reassuring.
What God is this church to?
The only thing that you have heard about the religion there that they pray to a morning lord, and what else do they do at night?
The Night Mother, I think?
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Yeah. As you keep entering, as you continue walking down the hall, you just see a couple of doors that are slightly ajar, and you can see just some very sparsely decorated rooms with just really a bed and maybe a footlocker or a desk or something of that nature. Nothing, indicating that people here have a lot of personal effects.
Who all do we see in here? Like, what do we see when we walk in? Besides, obviously, everything kind of thrashed.
So as you guys keep moving through, if you guys continue forward and enter the main part of the chapel, you see that the chapel lies in shambles, overturned with broken pews littering dusty floors. Dozens of candles mounted on candlesticks and light every dusty corner in a fevered attempt to rid the chapel of shadows. On the far end of the church says a cloud-scarred altar behind which kneels a priest in soiled vestments. Next to him hangs a long, thick rope that stretches up to the bell tower.
Is the priest moving? Is he alive?
Yeah, he's murdering a prayer.
Well, Padre, what seems to be the issue here?
He looks at you. He's like, "Oh, I didn't know people even came by here. I would have cleaned up." And after he says that, you hear a young man's voice cry out, "Father, I'm starving!" from beneath the floor.
Sounds like someone else also wants you to help clean up. Why, pray tell, somebody starving underneath your floorboards?
he mutters, "Ah, I told that boy 100 times not to go, and look what happens. He gets led by some dumb wizard, and look, he comes back, and I have no choice but to keep him below for his own safety so he doesn't harm others."
Harm others. How?
By
What's
being
happened
stuck
to him?
underneath the floorboards.
He kind of just mutters and starts pacing. He's like, I told him not to go. That there's worse fates than deaths. That if we just prayed and left things be go, Strahd wouldn't do anything. But no, he comes back, and now he's back as a vampire spawn. And in order to keep the village safe, I did my priestly duties and kept him beneath the chapel, praying to the Morning Lord to end his incessant screaming. And after he says that, you just hear another large, hungry scream from below the floor.
All right, here it is. Insight check.
I check.
Okay.
23.
9.
So, Vika, you can tell that there's truth in what he's saying, but the man's obviously been driven insane by not only the recent amount of events, but the incessant screaming that seems like it comes every few minutes.
So, just to get this straight, you are harboring a vampire beneath your floorboards.
He he goes, "I'm protecting the village. I'm doing my job to ensuring that I provide a service to this town that seems forgotten that we even are here."
Wouldn't you be? There's no reason in here. Ugh. Hey, Ismark, is this normal? Is this Did you know about all this?
You see both Ismark and Arena just kind of, I guess, going, I he never attacked here. Why? This was one of our only places of refuge.
I'm gonna walk up to Donovich here. I'm gonna hold out my hand. I'm gonna cast Minor Illusion, and a swirling ball of energy is gonna kind of coalesce into the shape of a werewolf in front of him.
Oh, okay. I,
Does he react to that at all?
he kind of just he quickly just hides behind. He's like, "Back, foul creature! The Morning Lord, save me! Save my son!" He he's completely in shock and just cowering behind the altar now.
So in that, would I perceive that based on the reaction that might be what caused this?
Uh, Again, he did say that his son was bit by a vampire, so there's that to consider. As far as the claw marks are concerned, it looks like that the damage could have been done to the pews, but the werewolf itself just kind of sends him into a terror altogether. If that's what you're getting at.
I'm not trying to intimidate him. I'm probing.
I mean, he's taking it as the fact that there's a he believes that there's a werewolf for him. I mean, the man's
Oh
mind
no,
is
this
not
is
there.
like just a figure in my hand. I'm not actually like I'm
Oh,
doing this obviously so he sees me do it.
oh,
Like
I'm
I'm not
sorry.
trying to like scare him.
I thought you made an actual real size werewolf. I didn't understand the scope that
He
you're
was
making.
using the cantrip that doesn't make anything that big.
Oh, okay. I was under the impression that he was making like an actual full on. He kind of. Okay, never mind. Yeah, let me go ahead and take that back. Then he kind of looks at. He's like, "Oh, those constantly come by on a daily basis. My poor doors, my poor walls. This used to be such a beautiful place before they came."
Why are they coming?
He he goes. It's like because my foolish son rebelled against the Lord. Didn't do it. We'd be fine.
So they're coming here to what? Kill him?
Kill him, torture me for not stopping him. I, I.
But if your son is vampires, and why would they wish to kill him? Would he not be Strahd's thrall?
Maybe they're here to free him. I don't know. I've tried to just keep the door barred and locked as much as I can, just to pray, that the Morning Lord would take all this away, like a bad dream.
Well, isn't this one of those situations where your son is no longer your son because he's been turned into a minister of the night? Quinn, you're kind of an expert on this whole sort of thing.
Yeah,
Oh my
well,
god.
is this your flesh and blood that you have hiding down here?
Well, the body's my son, but I don't know if I don't know if the soul is there anymore. Hungry! And you kind of see the priest just kind of close his eyes and relent for a minute of the fact that you could tell that that's still striking him down to the bone. He's just kind of shivering a little bit after hearing that.
We have people here who are specialists in dealing with monsters. Perhaps they could take a look at your child and see if there is possibility of purifying him. And I sort of gesture to Quinn and Etrex.
You can kind of tell the priest is intrigued. He's like, you can save my son?
This is not promise, just examination could tell if he is truly has become vampire or if he is simply in middle stage where it is possible it may be reversible. Yes?
Hang on, Vika. Let's not fill this man's head with false hope. If there is a very real chance there's nothing that we can do. If that's the case, we may have to alleviate him of this mortal coil.
I just rolled a natural one to not laugh there. You're spinning some yarn.
Vika sort of leans over to Quinn. The man is obviously mad. It is possible his son may not be turned at all, and he may be starving him beneath the floorboards. I
It's
just
true.
wish to insert this.
But what if he is
Then we
creature of the
stick
night?
him through the heart.
Is that a thing? I don't think that's a thing.
Etrex said it was.
Oh,
It's
okay.
definitely a thing.
It's a thing.
Are you not listening when they
I was
give us-
listening, but it's just like it just doesn't sound right. Anyway. But yeah, we have to, with all the things that we've seen here, we have to accept the possibility and let him also accept the possibility that we
That's
may
why
have
I
to.
said it's only a small possibility.
Still, we're giving him false hope.
Then what? Do you wish to knock the priest off the head so that we can shove him aside and get to his son?
We're knocking people
Yeah.
over the head.
No! And keep this
Oh.
down. We do not want to scare this priest.
I'm gonna very assertively walk up to you guys and just like point down.
Yeah. Anyway, Padre, we're gonna have to deal with this situation sooner than later. So, if you don't mind, we will be down there. And again, if there's something we can save, we will try. But if not, then we may have to do what we have to do.
It's not safe to keep vampire in city, yes?
He laughs. Good luck. I threw away the key, and good luck trying to open up that trapdoor.
That will not be much problem.
Just
Can I
happens to.
insight check that. That seems weird.
He basically you can tell his insanity. He's like, the key's gone. No one can get down. I will pray, and I will continue to pray.
Swear to the gods, if one of these 100 keys that we have found and have no purpose do not open this lock, I am going to bash these things down using the priest's head.
Well, look, we have at least 4 of us here who are very good at dealing with locks. So, if you don't mind, Vika, if you could just make sure that the gentleman kindly keeps to out of the way, I'll take a look at this lock here.
Certainly.
Before we do that, do you mind if I look for the key?
Be my guest.
I mean, I'll just head in.
I'm actually
I'm
confused.
heading into this room and looking at this lock.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
got super stoked when I heard there was something to do.
When they started wandering off to go and look at the lock, I'm going to put my arm around the priest and sort of guide him away. So Father, tell me about your Lord and Savior, yes?
Yeah, he kind of goes on a tirade about how the Morning Lord will purify things. Um, on the,
Yes, and tell me more. Yes, keep going.
yeah, Lyndon, as you are approaching the lock and you're examining the keyhole, uh, as you're putting the mental image of the key in your mind, it actually looks somewhat familiar that you've seen it recently. The key itself.
Well, who's got the keys? Someone has a key for this place.
Quinn!
Oh yeah, I think I've got some keys that we've had before.
Also, my token's gone again.
Oh, what the hell? I copied it from the last one. It should be visible. There you go.
There it is. I want to investigate this room for first a key and two any notes that might be relevant, worth reading.
Yeah, there's really not much in the
Gotcha.
study. It just kind of has his ramblings about, uh, there's really nothing of major issues. There's a few, there's a tinder box, a few wooden boxes of full candles, two books talking about hymns to the dawn, a volume of chants to the morning lord, and the blade of truth, the uses of logic in the war against the Diablos heresies, as fought by the Ultimate Inquisitions. Strange book that mixes logic exercises with lurid depictions of fiend worshipping cults. Wow, that's a hell of a description.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what was in
They
there.
pay their writers for every word that they type.
I guess. So Lyndon, yeah, the key that you guys had found, well, one of the trinkets that you guys found opens up this lock at least, so it gets the chain off the door. But there's also a mechanism that you'll have to um, undo to actually get the latches on the trapdoor to prop open.
So it's a trap. It's literally trapped.
Yeah, it's a trapdoor that needs a little bit finessing to open up.
What an interesting priest that has a trap that he was able to do. Apparently, our local priest is a trapsmith. Quinn, you want to help me with this?
Sure, I'll take a look at this trap. Oh yeah, so what am I doing?
I
Yeah,
was just gonna have you assist me in a disable device, I guess.
yeah.
Sure. What's your roll? I got a +7.
I think it's +7 as well, because I should have double proficiency plus dexterity. So, yeah.
Well then, I'll assist you. You can roll
Sure.
it a bit.
So I have +7 to whatever I'm rolling here. Uh, 25 here.
Oh yeah. So you can tell that it takes a little bit of dangling with two of the locking mechanisms. You had to slide. There was a little bit of a roller that needed to be slid into place, and then as soon as you do that, the latches on the top and bottom prop open, and it looks like now that there's nothing holding the wood anymore down there, but you can tell that you might need a little bit of brute force just to prop it because it seems like the wood is not only slightly rotted, but it looks like it's attached to a metal plate.
But this part's disabled.
Yeah, it's disabled now. It's like now you can actually budget with better ease. Otherwise, you would have had to pretty much rip the floor out at that point.
I wait about 5 seconds to make sure the door doesn't fly open with a vampire spawn jumping out at us and trying to suck our blood. All right, Quinn, should we send down Vika or should we send down Matilda? What do you think?
Vika is kind of corralling the gentleman here.
Yes, this is fantastic. Tell me more about this morning lord. Yes, very much light. I enjoy. Tell me more.
So
Matilda. Matilda, get in here. We need your help. We need your help.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Roll me a strength check.
I'm good at those.
If it'll process anytime.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a delay tonight.
15.
Yeah, you had to make sure you plant your feet, but you hear some straining against the metal against the side of the floorboards. But after that, yeah, you're able to prop it up, and you see a small. Oh, is it a stairway or is it a ladder? I think it's a stairway. Yeah, you see a small stairway that leads down into a poorly lit room, heading down.
How small is small? Like, can I fit?
Oh yeah, you can fit down there. Just not going to be very much clearance above you.
Oh, okay. I'll go down it.
All right, tell us if you see anything.
All right, so
Can I see anything?
So you see that as you look down the stairway, you can see that there's a lit room towards the bottom of it.
I'll walk towards it.
Okay, so that's gonna bring you over to this side. You can make out the kind of the what you would hear like a sound a hungry person would make as they're raving about their hunger and making licking sounds around their lips and smacking them. And yet again, you hear that piercing scream of, "Father, feed me!"
I'm gonna holler up and just say, "Hey boys, anybody want to come join me?"
Oh yeah, I'm coming.
I'm gonna cast Mage Armor and come down.
I will come on down. Is
Alright.
it dark in here when we get down in here?
It's dimly lit, so you don't need dark vision, but it still will require. It won't require another light source, but it's not brightly like middle of the day, but it's at least well lit enough to where you can actually see everything down here.
I say I can see everything even in dim light at 120 feet. So
Yeah.
Before
Where is it?
Quinn goes down, Vika just looks over. Let me know if you need help, yes?
Oh, I'm sure you'll be able to hear.
are those two coming with us or no?
Vika is still trying to distract the priest.
Oh no, I mean Ismark and Irina.
No.
Oh, yeah.
They're kind of taken aback by what they're seeing, and they're guarding their dad's body.
Oh, they're there with us?
They're
They came to the church with us, yeah.
yeah
Yeah, they're standing outside, like looking at this happen. So
yeah.
All right, Ismark, why don't you come in here and speak with good Mr. Donovich and let him talk to him about the Morning Lord, because Vika, I need to borrow her for a minute.
Yes, this is good. See, these two children, they lost their fathers. They need to make plans, yes, to have funeral. Speak to them, yes?
Oh, he kind of
Offer them solace.
goes, "Oh no, I yes, it's my duty as the priest." And both Ismark and Irina kind of just look at you, going, "All right, well, just be careful." And they start talking about the funeral arrangements and things of that nature. So his attention's focused on those two at this point.
Okay, I will go and quickly, as stealthily as possible for a 7-foot tall minotaur, try to follow the others downstairs.
and coming into this room, I mean, I kind of see what we see on the map, but was there anything I see readily apparent besides what I hear?
The church's undercroft has rough-hewn walls and a floor made of damp clay and earth. Rotting wooden pillars strain under the weight of the wooden ceiling. Candlelight from the chapel above slips through the cracks, allowing you a glimpse of a gaunt shape in the far corner. There's very little lighting, but there's at least a little bit of candles that are almost expired. So there's a little bit of candlelight down here to kind of help out with some sight.
So we can see the figure in the corner. Does it look like he's recognized us yet, or is he still just wailing hunger?
He can he hasn't really heard you guys yet. He's just kind of wailing in the corner for now. So depending on how you proceed, we'll go from there.
Okay. Well, I will cautiously kind of step out of the way for everybody.
Okay, go ahead and make me a stealth roll for anyone moving quietly down the steps.
Yeah,
Filthy.
I will roll a stealth roll. I am hiding behind Matilda.
That's a terrible roll. My dice are crap tonight. That's a 9.
Oof.
I haven't rolled
15.
above a 10. Actually, I don't think I've even rolled like an 8.
Wow, that bad tonight, huh?
Vika will stealthily clomp down the stairs in her splint armor and heavy hooves.
Thank you. I appreciate your help.
Yeah, Matilda did do so hot.
Yeah, Matilda's just clomping.
Well, I don't see this as being a very stealthy endeavor.
Yeah.
No.
Well, it sounded like at least Parrot wanted to at least not draw too much attention as he's walking down.
But when I sneak behind Matilda and she goes down the stairs, I'm going to duck over in this area over here.
I'm not necessarily trying to hide. I'm just not trying to like draw a lot of attention.
Right. That's fine. Yeah. I mean, there's
Matilda's never known what stealth is a day in her life.
Right.
Yeah, Vika's not big on that either.
Yeah, it seems like at least the two bigger characters that are wearing, it essentially Vika and Matilda draw the most attention, and you just hear, I smell your blood.
Oh, good. He is a vampire.
That's comforting.
Well, at least the priest was not mad.
He's a little bit mad.
Yes, but is not trapping his innocent son below ground. And Vika pulls out her glaive. Now,
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
you will stay over there, and you will not move unless you wish to lose your head.
Or other appendages.
Yeah, he tries to stay in place as best he can. He's like, blood, I need blood. It's been too long.
Right, so here's the thing. I look at Itrex and Quinn. So, what do we do? Is there a way to cure, or did I lie to that poor man?
I'm not so sure. I haven't come across these creatures before in any of my studies, so I do not know. Trick.
Ooh. Can I roll a history check? See if I do know.
Can I see if there's some like story I've heard based on studying religion about this kind of curse potentially?
Yeah, if you want to do a religion curse, you can, and then for Etrix, since you rolled that history check earlier, you would have to try to inspect him more thoroughly to see how far gone he goes, because if he's already physically starting to change, then there's little hope for him to do that, but you can't tell since he's kind of huddling in the corner behind pillars and stuff.
Well, if we subdue him, I could take a closer look.
I got a
No.
map.
Alright, so rope is what I'm hearing, yes? We tie his hands and then you give him a, what is the word? Inspection, Finn?
Inspection?
What doctors do, yes?
I mean, there's an examination, but
Yes, this is word.
On that religion check, I got a nat 20, 22.
You know that this is not typically common for most religious organizations to hold things in their basement, but some places there have been a very few and far between places that have acted as a prison for things of supernatural things, basically a prison for supernatural stuff.
Oh, what I was looking for was the kind of information on vampirism and that curse and what's been told about it in religion.
Oh, sorry, I misunderstood that. So as far as you know, religion-wise, is that that vampires ritually will, in some cases, share blood between themselves and their chosen, and through a ritual and through some sort of odd exchange of fluids that they end up slowly becoming more vampiric and monstrous in nature, and over a course of time, depending on the type of vampire that starts said ritual. Does that answer the question?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what's the game plan?
Doctor, what do you want to do?
Well, we need to tie him up and gag him so he cannot bite us.
All right, this is I think this is job for us. Yes, and I look over to Tilda.
Absolutely.
All right, I pull out my 50 feet of robes that all adventurers have because fucking robe.
All right, well, I will take out my blood-rided crossbow and keep it aimed firmly at the gentleman while we attempt to tie him.
How old does he look?
He does. He looks. His physical appearance look more of a young man in his late teens, early 20s.
All right. All right. So here we go. Do not make any sudden movements. Yes, we will not hurt you. We want to see if there is way to help. And the good doctor will look you over. And if there is way to help, then perhaps we can fix your present aversion to sunlight. Yes?
He kind of goes like, "You'll give me blood."
We will
Let's put a pin in the blood.
there will be blood if we cannot help. Yes.
He kind of shuffles over a little bit cautiously and goes, "It's like, that's good. I'm hungry."
Yes. We can see this. Yes. Just turn around and put your hands behind your back.
Roll me a persuasion.
Certainly.
This is gonna be fucking awesome.
18.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, what?
I was gonna try and do something to assist, but never mind.
18.
Oh yeah, he oh, good. Just give me the blood. He just turns around and puts his hand behind his back.
All right. And with Tilda, we will approach and we will tie hands behind back.
Okay. Just give me whoever's tying it. Give me a sleight of hand
Sleight of hand.
for tying rope.
Lyndon, you're good with your hands, yes?
I'll take a short length of rope with my mage hand and gag this fellow so he doesn't bite anyone.
Does that work?
Yeah.
You can tie someone up with mage hand? Sword?
No, he's using a gag to put. He's using his mage hand to put a gag in.
Oh, okay. Well, alright, if Lyndon will not help, then
No,
I will.
I'll come over. I'm just laughing at the whole situation. It's cracking
If
me
he
up.
can't do it, I can do it too.
Salith, you said you're using mage hand?
Yeah, to like tie a gag around his
No,
mouth.
I want to make sure. Roll me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Alright. Yeet, as they say. I just hit enter by accident. That should be just 16, not 18.
Okay, you're fine.
Do I feel anything at all, or am I just
No,
good?
no, you're good.
Okay.
I rolled a 16 to tie this guy's hands up.
Yeah, you're able to get the correct knot in, and you know that it will be very difficult for him to break out, even with his strength.
I immediately back up. All right. Well, I did a pretty good time there.
All right, this is good. So just doctor.
All right, we'll approach him and begin inspecting him.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a
See what I
medicine
think.
check.
Medicine.
Roll high.
I'll join the.
Oh God.
Oh god.
Is anyone wanting to assist me?
I was
He
gonna
looks
say
like
I'll
a
join
normal
the
person.
doctor because I'd like to learn more about like explicit medicine rather than just like. Because when you think about it, a sorcerer's magic, especially healing magic, is just like vibes. Like it doesn't come from anything. So
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah, unfortunately, poor Etrix is not able to discern what stage he's in.
Actually, you know what? I have inspiration. I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Oh, okay.
Oh yes, forgot about that.
20.
Oh,
Oh,
that is much better.
That's better.
you can tell that he's in the early transformation stage. He's already having fangs that are protruding. His fingers are starting to elongate into claws, and that his eyes are starting to, be very resistant to. You can tell that he's able to discern things in the dark really well. Like you can tell that he's fixated on you pretty easily.
Is there okay? So in this stage, would I know of a way to reverse it?
At this point, you would need to find some way of reversing it, either by some sort of powerful removal, like curse removal type item or spell, a wish. It's gonna take something pretty hefty to reverse the damage already done, since it's already physically transforming him.
Ooh. Gosh. Okay. So in my head, how is this different from like the werewolf transformation and like the potion we have for that? How
Um,
different are these two things?
Well, in terms of Vika and Matilda, they were able to get that taken care of before the physical transformation had occurred, and
Gotcha.
hadn't started to reprogram their bodies to for that transformation. This guy, he's he's gonna need something pretty potent and almost divine, almost to cure said issue with him.
Well, um, he is fairly far along at this point. To reverse his illness, he would need powerful magic. He may be too far along.
I see.
I'm gonna kind of nod my head with let everybody like, is this what we're doing?
I glance over at Quinn.
Well, I don't, frankly, I don't see that this boy is savable at this point, and, his father's a little, gone himself.
Hmm.
So I don't know how well we're going to be able to. I think we just need to put him down.
That's why
I'll
I
take
asked.
a step back.
Are we actually doing this then? Sorry,
When,
that's why I was going for the nod. Apologies.
when Vika hears this, she puts her hand on her weapon, ready to draw.
I mean, we've got his hands behind his back and he's gagged. Just put him to the ground and just finish it. Like we're.
Then it is certain there is no other way.
Not that I could see available to us.
Okay. Behind my back, I'm gonna minor illusion, kind of like a pouch or satchel of blood to kind of show him. I don't know if it'll work, but I'm gonna try and do that and show it to him to keep him kind of like calm.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a. God, should I just? I guess I can give you deception with advantage at this point since you're trying to deceive him.
Well, that's the best roll I've had all night. 20.
Yeah, you pretty much made this like his eyes start going wide and his eyes actually start tearing up. This is what he's been looking for quite a while. For Lyndon and for the good doctor, you know that the best way to kill said vampires is, running a stake through his heart, essentially. So there's that. Sunlight will kill it. So you know that will definitely take care of him.
Well, I'll be right back. I'll go up to here and grab some of these. In any of these splintered pieces of wood, would they work as a
Yeah.
stake?
Yep, just gotta sharpen them up a little
I-
bit. Very good.
I'll grab like
Is
two or
this-
three of them
Never mind.
and run back down and hand one to Vika and one to Matilda. One.
I'd have followed Atrix up and stayed up there to explain that even though he might not fully understand that we can't save his son and this has to be done.
Oh. Okay. All right. So he's doing the deed.
Vika will stand behind the young man, and she will look down very sad. All right, your thirst will be quenched soon, I promise. And she pulls the stake back, and she stabs him through the heart from behind.
Yep, and you see him tense up, flinch, and his body goes limp.
Her other hand was resting like on his head, stroking his hair. I am sorry. May the gods forgive you and embrace you once more. And she lets him, gently places him upon the ground.
I'll walk up and make sure his eyes are closed and dissipate the illusion.
Alrighty. Alright, I think aside from that, we just have Salith trying to explain what went down to good old Father Deer. Aside from that, anything else for the guys down in the cellar, essentially?
Do we notice anything else down here while we're down here?
Yeah, thanks to some player rolls, you end up finding down here a large satchel. It looks like it would have belonged to him.
I'll pick it up.
Okay. Alright, give me 1 second. Gotta get to... Freaking kidding me? Okay, alright, so... Inside said satchel... will be 21 gold pieces... and 40 silver pieces.
Group bank.
Sit, I just realized we should have asked him about the wizard his father was talking about.
Too late now.
It is.
Well,
That is unfortunate. I was sort of distracted with the whole vampire thing. Are we splitting the money or is it going in group loot?
I figured group loot.
Yeah,
Is-
kind of your group loot.
Okay, as long as everyone is good with that, I will add it in.
Alrighty. Well, this might be actually a good spot to end tonight since we're a couple minutes after the hour. I know a lot of us gotta get to sleep, so if everyone's good, we'll pick up the aftermath of this next week's session on the 29th. It sounds like everyone's good to go for next week, right?
To my knowledge.
Yes.
As far as I'm aware.
All right, folks. Well, you heard it here. We'll be back next week on the 29th, 7 p.m. Mountain Daylight Savings Time, and we'll deal with the aftermath and make our way to Valaki, more than likely. So have a good week, and we'll see you soon.